Hello everyone out there. Today, once I find my marker, I am going to be showing you how to do music theory. Crap, I can't find my marker. Well, I'll try my best without my marker for now. Never mind, it's right there. Okay, that was weird. Anyway, so we have music theory is pretty much basic study of music. The theory of music, hence the name music theory. So, I'm just going to show you some basic stuff. To first start off, we have a staff. Right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Consists of 5 lines, 4 spaces. Maybe. When my marker actually writes and isn't an eraser, more than it is a marker. There we go. So you have a pretty basic staff. If you guys can see that. There we go. No, maybe. My thing's being a little weird. Okay. So I'm actually in the shot now. I'm just using my phone camera, so I'm going to try not to sneeze like crazy. So, you have this staff here. So there are 5 lines, 4 spaces. Depending on what clef you're in, which would be written as treble clef, or bass clef. Which are not showing up too well. Let me make sure the board is completely dry. I also need a better whiteboard marker too, but the board feels completely dry. So I'm going to try that again. We have a staff. Let's go over here then. Staff. Along with your clefs. Your treble clef. And your bass clef. And bass clef has more of an arc, kind of like that. Right? So every instrument reads in one of those clefs. And if you're a viola player, just for you viola players out there, I'll add your cute little pain in the butt to read alto clef. No offense to you guys, but I read alto clef too. It's a pain. You can barely see that. But yeah, it's pretty basic. So, anyway, along with your clefs, you have these things called bar lines. Or, along with your staff, you have these things called bar lines. Inside the staff that make out a measure, one measure. Now that time of measure depends on the time signature, which is a measure of time. Depending on what time signature you're in, I'll use 4/4 for example. Means depends on what you're playing in. So 4/4 means there are 4 beats in a measure, and that 4 means one quarter note. Quarter note gets 1 beat. That gets 1 beat, and there are 4 beats in a measure. Draw 4 quarter. See? So now that we have that basically down, let me show you the measure of, let's just say, whole notes, half notes, stuff like that. So pretty much basically you have a whole note, which I'm going to use this basic 4/4. It gets 4 counts. Then that can be split up into 2 half notes, which get 2 counts each. And then 4 quarter notes, which get 1 count each. And then you can keep going into 8th notes, which get half a count each. Which get half a count each, which all would equal up. So say I was in a bar of 4/4. I wanted to do something with a bar 4/4. Here's what I would do. First off, I draw my staff. I'm not going to worry about the staff and that stuff. I'm just going to do rhythms. So I'm going to put my clef, which doesn't really matter. For this one, I'm going to use a percussion clef, which is just 2 lines like that, because I'm just doing rhythms. Don't ask me why. So then I'm going to put common. That C is another way to write the 4/4. So then I might put 8th note, half note, quarter. I could do half note, quarter, 8 notes. Nice. Quarter, quarter. And there's this thing called syncopation, which I'll just write it out, but it's a lot more complicated to understand. I might write 1, 2, 1, 2. So that'd be bum, 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 bum. Pretty simple. Just a little cute little rhythm. So we have those. Now, let's wipe off the board, which is going to take a good minute or so because I don't want to rip it off the wall. Oh man, I got water on my piano. And I had a sponge on there. Stupid me. Let's wipe it off with a sponge, just to get it nice and somewhat wiped off. And then use a napkin to do the rest. I'm this is on the back of the United States map, so. Yeah, this thing here I'm erasing is all kind of, I like to think of it as a family tree of notes, because technically it looks like a family tree, and it does kind of spread off into all the notes that you would use. And then you could do 16th and 32nd. There's this one part in Appalachian Morning, it's a really good piece that used 32nd notes. I'll actually play it on my, well, I guess I shouldn't, but we don't have the rights to that music anymore, I don't think. But anyway. But it's really neat. 1 and 2 and a 3 and 4 and 1, 4 and 1. Because you can do 16th, 32nd, 64th, and after you get down to 64th, if you have 64th notes and anything over 64th notes, your composer is just a jerk, to be honest. Like, to be completely honest. Why would you put 64th notes in a piece? Well, I'm going to go grab another napkin. Oh, never mind, I have one right here. Okay, so let's see what else we have music theory-wise I can teach you. Sorry I'm taking so long to erase the board. I'm just trying to get all this black crud off. So that's pretty much basically what you learn in your first day of music class or your first lesson if you've never played an instrument before. Best part is like when I get a new book, like if I get a new instrument and I get a new book, I ignore all the music theory stuff because I know that. I just look for the notes. So, I'm going to do a bunch of 4/4 rhythms. And I'm going to write them out. And I'm going to play them. Like, I'm going to use different notes and stuff to make it fun. But, I'm going to do a bunch of 4/4 rhythms. So, 4/4. And here we go. Just 4 simple quarter notes. Just so I'm doing this so you guys can hear what something sounds like. Then we have basic 8th note. I'm going to do 16th notes just for the heck of it, but I highly doubt you'll see these on your first day of music. Now, as you can see, 8th notes are written with 1 bar, but 16th notes are written with 2 bars. I'm trying to do this in as little space as possible, but I have this entire thing. Sorry I'm taking so long. I'm just trying to show you. So then we have 16th notes, and we have like half notes. We have a whole note, obviously. That's easy. Da. Simple. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's pretty simple. I like half notes and whole note. Now I have a whole piece that's written with 16th notes. Staccato Studies. I'll actually play that because it's a nice little piece of music to play. Metro Music says. So it's at 80 beats per minute, but if I turn on my piano metronome loud enough, 80 beats per minute, there it is. Hold on. This is 80 beats per minute. 1 and a 2. I'm going to play that staccato with this 80 beat per minute, and you'll hear how fast 16th notes actually are. 1, 2. You get the point. That was kind of trash, to be honest. Shut up. Nope. That was trash, to be completely honest with you. But yeah, these are basic 4/4 rhythms. I'm just going to do concert F on my flute. We have like 4 quarter notes. I'm going to be flat, sorry. And then we have 8th notes. Yeah, 16th notes. And if you're good enough, you can do 30 seconds. And now that I'm looking at it, I forgot to draw that second line. That would not make that rhythm right. That would have to be 2 8th notes in order to have 1 bar. And then you have like, my favorite rhythms, honestly, are these right here. Dotted 8th, or 8th, 16th, and dotted 8th, 16th. The dot gives half the value, so there's 2 8th notes in here, 2 8th notes, 2 8th notes, 2 8th notes. So if I put a dotted quarter, the dot gives adds 1/2 the value to that note. So if I have 2, 1/2 the value, if I want to make that worth a half note, I have to put an 8th note, because that would be worth 3, plus 1 would equal 4 8th notes, which would equal 2 half notes. And that Staccato Studies, by the way, on trumpet was trash, because I normally play it at like 70, so I was trying to bump it up to 80, but yeah, that's trash. But anyway, so there's that. So now that you know about that, I'm going to teach you the lines and spaces on treble clef, bass clef, and I'll do alto clef, but I'm not so good at that, so please forgive me if I get something wrong with alto clef. But I know treble and bass clef because I play trombone, flute, clarinet, trumpet, a little bit of piano, so that's how I know both treble and bass off the top of my head. And I play viola, so like I can read alto clef. It's just kind of hard for me to get to it exactly writing it out. So for treble clef, we have our staff. I'm just going to draw a staff. The lines are E, G, B, D, F, that's an E, F, and the spaces are F, A, C, E. A good way to think of this is every good boy does sign, and then those spaces spell face, as in like your face. So this is treble clef. Then for bass clef, if I draw another staff, so we have great big so we have G, B, D, F, A for those lines, and then A, C, E, G for the spaces. Good way to remember this one is great big dogs fight animals, and all cows eat grass. Yes, cows do eat grass, thankfully. And then we have our third staff here I'm going to draw. I don't know why I made this one so big. I know why, because I don't know alto clef. But I can draw it pretty well. That's an alto clef. Forgive me for that. So then we have, I know that C. Something like that. I don't really know an acronym for this, because it's like great big dogs, or we could do great big dogs fight for the, and then, I don't know. There's a lot of acronyms you can use if you can think of any. Please let me know for alto clef. But, yeah. So that's pretty much basic music theory. Next video, I'm going to show you actually how to play the trumpet. Thanks to my YouTube subscriber, I just did this so you could get a little look at what I actually have to learn before I can start playing this. Or my staccato studies. So, I will see you in the next video, and don't forget that get it, and it will be on your side. See you in the next video.